Welcome to Divorce Diaries Show. I am Michelle Trina, the creator of Divorce Diaries, and I am so excited to be recording tonight. I just got back from dog sitting for my cousin and his fiance, and this dog is so cute. And I had an interesting weekend. So this episode, I'm a comedian, but I'm an actor, I'm a writer, I storytell. So I try to just kind of let loose with the podcast and just talk about what's going on in my life, what's going on in the Michelle Trina divorce diary. And there's two things. There's lots of stuff going on with the show. I have a lot of upcoming shows. One this Friday, Nutley, my birthday show, I like to call it. My birthday's October 26th, but this Friday is the 21st, and I'm doing a birthday show of Divorce Diaries this weekend in the area I live in and grew up in, New Jersey, North Jersey. Nutley, New Jersey. So go check it out, the Oakley. November 5th, LA at the Crow Comedy Club. November 6th in San Diego at the Mike Drop Comedy Club. And November 26th in Chicago at the Lincoln Lodge. And then I am also going to be, I don't know what the pronoun is because it is a one-woman show, but I have some special guests coming for the New Year's Eve special in Wheaton, Illinois, which is at the West Side Improv. So I'm really excited. This weekend was crazy, but awesome. I got booked in another commercial, a UGC commercial, which is user generated content. It was from another client called Smart News that I had, and I was excited. I also just been working on my material, which I've been feeling a little bit like, I don't know, I'm feeling a little jarbled with some of my material. Like I feel a little over the place and not as tight. And I've been practicing it, but I'm feeling a little stuck. So I'm just going to keep practicing and something will hit. That's what has happened before. Once I just keep practicing and writing, eventually when you chip at something, it breaks and the diamond pops through. I don't know if that's the right analogy, but I think you get the point. I also want to bring up that while I was at my cousin's, I found this poem. I don't. It's an excerpt. I don't. It's Nelson Mandela, really, but then Marianne Williamson. I guess she used it in one of her books. I don't know. There's like I was looking online. It looks like there's a controversy about who actually wrote it, but in this thing, it's Nelson Mandela, and I like to read it. And I really like it because it has to do with what I want to talk about tonight, which is a little bit about self-love and changing your thoughts to change your change your thoughts to change your mindset, and of course love. Our deepest fear is not that. Okay, so this is Nelson Mandela, but like I said, I also saw that Marianne Williamson had put this in something that she wrote too, so I have to go back and see what the real credit is, but this, where I'm reading it off the internet, is Nelson Mandela. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It's our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There's nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. I'm going to read that again. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine as children do. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It's not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. Nelson Mandela. Okay. There's just so much about that. It makes me think about, at times where I feel like I shouldn't be a certain way because I either make other people feel insecure or make people feel uncomfortable, or I'm taking too much of a risk, or I'm not loving myself enough by putting myself with the wrong people, wrong men, or whatever it may be. And this is just like, you got to be who you are. You got to let your light shine. You got to go for it. It also kind of just reminded me about what I'm kind of struggling with in my brain about dating and men and this parallel between my job and my work and meeting somebody new. Um, I tend to just get distracted if I meet somebody new and I like them, and just it's just I guess what happens I guess to a lot of people. But I'm trying to change my thought process when I do meet somebody and I like them, so that I don't get so stuck on, well, either they're in or they're out, or why am I not good enough? Why is this person? Because I feel like I constantly meet a guy who's questioning whether or not I'm worth it. Even though they don't say that, I feel in my bones the men that I've had, especially since divorce, have like just not wanted to commit or not wanted to take take the leap with me for some reason, or have made me feel bad about myself, and it just always makes me feel like, but what is wrong with me? And I know that's not the right way of thinking. I know that. I know that's like it's not on me, it's on them, but it's hard to not, and I've talked about this, it's hard not to be feeling like it's me. I have and so I'm going to get to where this is present day in my body, but I want to play something. One of my followers sent this to me about something he heard me say on one of my lives.
The one thing I get upset is every time you talk about something like this, you put the blame on yourself. Stop blaming yourself. Stop putting blame that you're putting too, that it's you and it's you and it's you. Stop that crap. Enough is enough. You need to realize that you have more to offer anybody than bullshit of blaming yourself. If somebody's not into it, it's because their energy has not matched your energy. You will find.
Okay. That is my follower, Dario. He has followed me for a couple of years now, and he's in Florida, and he's actually not divorced. He's widowed, and I want to have him on the man panel when we do the man panel again. We did that a couple of years ago during the pandemic. It was great. I guess I should play the rest of it because, okay, I'll play the rest of it.
Don't match that energy. I say this as a friend. I don't say this as a potential person. Say, hey, listen, let's get together, because that's not gonna happen. I'm a completely different animal. There's no way. I've been broken so many times, sweetheart, that even I don't know if I'll ever be fixed. So I'm
That is hysterical, by the way.
I'm just telling you as a friend, let it sit there, let it just settle and see what happens from there. If he doesn't.
So Dario was watching, I think, something I put it up in the summertime. But then I also was it was funny. He's like, well, that's interesting because it seems like that's the common thread, right? Like you feel like um it's always you, but it's not, right? I mean, but it's hard to anyway, long story short, I thought that was great. Dario gave me permission to play that. I appreciate it. Between the past, I keep going back to my past like lately and thinking like, wow, this person really hurt me, and I really am so mad that I let them in. I'm so mad I let the cop in, the married guy, the producer, and little ones in between. Like I'm so upset that I allowed that to happen, but at the same time I'm not, because it's like I had to experience those things, especially for what I created from it, right? um but I will say this weekend, I definitely reflected on moving forward in my life and how I really am not able to handle that right. Like I'm not able to handle like not that I'm not able to handle another disappointment, but I really don't want to let in like I don't want to let anybody in. And the second I even slightly open the door, I immediately am like I'm right now I'm in a place where I started talking to a guy. Not just like I'm not dating him or anything like that. It's just like we've been talking for like a month on texting and messaging, and long story short is I was like I've been really enjoying it, and I was getting nervous because I'm like, well, this is weird because I like talking to him, and like this is gonna either he likes talking to me too and he wants to go further and ask me out, or he just is like dicking around. So I said something to him, and I had to, because I was like, you know what, I it's been a couple weeks, so like what's the deal, are you want to ask me out or not? And he was really, I loved his answer back. His answer back was great. At first, I didn't think he answered back because I couldn't see his message, but he answered back, and it was like what I really wanted to kind of hear, that he was interested, which I felt like he was. But, and I totally did not start this the way I wanted to start because I was nervous about talking about this because he does listen to my podcast, which I'm so grateful for. I'm so grateful that he found it. I'm so grateful that he came to my show, and it's just like I'm so nervous because I do talk about my life in my show and in my podcast and in my social media, but like I really value like the kind of person I've been getting to know slowly, and I don't want to come out by like in any offensive way towards him. But we come from very different religious beliefs. Like I grew up a completely different religion than he's in, and I don't see any problem with that. I actually was really turned on by the fact that he is so religious. I think, and it's because it shows such discipline and consistency, and it shows faith, and yeah, it totally was like a turn on for me. And in a way, because like I feel like my vagina is the United Nations. Okay, I just went south there, huh? No, I haven't been with that many guys, but I have dated like everybody, like you name it. I don't know about religions wise, but like races and cultures, different all over. Lebanese, Black, Hispanic, Canadian. I don't think I dated a Canadian recently, but I have in college. Australian. What else? Yeah, I've obviously I talk about how I love Latin men, and like I have dated a good handful of them. Dated in my head, slept with them for sure. Uh, all right. But this guy is different. He's definitely different. Definitely attracted to him. I think that's why, like, I was excited to talk with him. You know, I feel like there's always gonna be like an initial attraction, but I did say something. I was like, well, what, you want to ask me again or not? You know, and so I got really excited that we were gonna hang out on this weekend, and I tried not to because I know when I get excited, usually I get disappointed. And I know that sounds kind of bad, but like, in the first years of me dating after divorce, I got disappointed a lot. Like men canceling on me, or uh, the canceling thing with a couple. I think it was the cop who did it a lot. He was one specifically, and I think that left a lot of anxiety, and I felt like really bad about myself. And I dated a younger guy for a while, and he was a jerk. Well, he was such a jerk off to me. And like that those kind of things left a bad taste in my mouth. So every time, something like that would happen again, I would be like, oh my God, I can't handle this. It makes me feel such, if when you date somebody or you talk to somebody and they cancel on you, it sticks with me. So like when I was excited to see him this weekend, I was also like, it seems kind of like too good to be true that like I'm going to hang out with him and we both like each other's conversation and this seems easy. Um, Again, I'm not jumping the gun. I'm just expressing that like I, I fear right away now that the person is lying, or they're going to be a huge disappointment, or they're going to not think, I'm not that I'm not worth it, but there's going to be some like questioning for them whether or not like this is going to go anywhere. But rightfully so, because how do you know it's going to go anywhere unless you actually get to meet them? Like I went out on a date with a guy who was really sweet. A couple dates him and I went on in the beginning of the year, and it just it didn't feel right for me. And we actually stayed friends. He came to my show. What the hell? He came to my show in Richmond, and it was great. So we're friends still, but like I know that for me it's harder when I get the rejection to accept it.